You don't accomplish anything until you know that you can. So much of what we are able to do is controlled by what's in our mind. I ran a poll on LinkedIn and Twitter on what I should be making videos on for YouTube, and helping kids gain self-confidence topped both lists. So that's what we'll talk about today. 3 exercises parents can do with their kids to help them grow their self-esteem and confidence. I realized when moving home during COVID and interacting with my teenage sister that she has very negative self-talk. And after working with so many teens who are so hard on themselves and getting into the top colleges and feeling not fully in control of their own lives, I know that self-esteem and self-confidence in teens is at an all-time low. A lot of this is caused by societal, peer, and family expectations to get into the top colleges. In our teenage years, there's also a lack of guidance in figuring out our identity, what we want in life, what we're capable of, and how to get there, paired with anxiety and fear of decision making. It's all very, very confusing, and whether teens feel like, are they enough to achieve all of these things? Childhood experiences, chronic criticism, bullying, and more are also in the mix. Self-esteem and self-confidence come from believing that you are able to solve challenges, lead a good life, and have great relationships. You have to believe that you can achieve all of this in order to have it. And that's actually easier said than done. When asked how you're doing or whether you believe you can live the best life you can live, most people will say yes. Teens especially don't share their innermost selves with many people. Some teens don't even recognize that their self-talk is negative. That you're not good enough. If you can't do this, it means you aren't smart, you aren't pretty enough, you aren't popular enough. These all lead to not fully believing that they can be happy, successful, or as fulfilled as others. This kind of inner voice also hinders a growth mindset to develop, to get better, to improve, to work hard, to achieve their dreams. Everyone wants to be more self-confident, because when you're confident in yourself, you can achieve anything, like go on to build million-dollar startups, get into Stanford to pursue science research dreams, and write books that express what you really believe. And that's why at Prequel, we think hard about how to help kids perceive themselves in a positive light and change their self-talk as the first step of any program that we run. The first exercise is learning how to have intentional thoughts. What happens in our minds drive our actions, which drive our results. The first skill that we need to teach kids is that we can control what we think. For this exercise, we get kids to first come up with a goal. Then we give them a table to list out all their limiting beliefs and argue with themselves on why those limiting beliefs aren't true. Finally, we get them to write out a positive affirmation that they will say to themselves instead whenever that limiting belief pops up again. As with all journaling and brainstorming, I recommend anyone who does this exercise come up with at least 5 limiting beliefs in order to go deep enough. Sometimes the truth and the core beliefs don't come out right away. So when you're doing this at home, encourage your kids to write 5 limiting beliefs down before starting to argue against each of them. Let's get started with an example. Since our programs help kids 9 to 17 launch real projects, most of them want to build their own side hustles. A limiting belief can be, who am I to offer this service or product? There are so many more experienced people out there. Who are better than me? Next, start writing down reasons why that's not true. It might help to get your kids to think about what their friend or someone who believes in them in the kindest way might say to them to encourage them. Why is this not true? Everyone starts somewhere. I bring fresh ideas to the table. My views and opinions matter. Finally, write a positive affirmation. One can be, I'm fully qualified to bring this product to market. People can't wait to see what I have in store. This is really the very basics of manifestation. When we believe we can do something, we embody the person who has achieved that goal. This affects our approach and our actions, therefore our results. When first starting out, kids might not fully believe in the positive affirmation when they say it to themselves. It takes time. But this is also a great exercise for kids to share with parents, mentors, and friends on what they need affirmations on. We need to normalize asking people to celebrate us and affirm us in the way that we want to be celebrated and affirmed. How will our friends and family know what we need if we don't tell them? I'm sure all parents here really want to know what their kids are thinking and needing in terms of encouragement affirmations. So make sure to ask them and encourage them to normalize this practice. We get kids to start getting used to sharing their goals and voicing their needs, including the confidence piece. We get them to say something like, I want to launch my own side hustle. I'm struggling with overcoming the limiting belief that there are better people or more experienced people out there who can do it better than me. But I know that everyone starts somewhere and I bring fresh ideas to the table. I would love if you can give me some affirmations from what you just heard. As a parent, friend, or mentor, you can say, that's awesome that you're launching a side hustle. I just want to validate how you feel and that starting is really hard. But I really admire the courage you have to just get started. You bring a lot of fresh ideas to the table, and I know that you will be able to learn as you go. The second exercise is called Box of Characteristics. Being happy with yourself comes from whether who you are, who you want to be, and how people see you are in balance. That starts with understanding how you see yourself, what characteristics you desire, and how other people currently see you. Here's the exercise. The first step is to get kids to come up with 3 traits that they would currently describe themselves as that are positive. The second step is to come up with 3 traits that they would like to be seen as. The reason why the first 3 need to be positive is because the second set of aspirational characteristics are most likely the negative traits that they currently see in themselves and want to improve on. So let's stay positive. Lastly, the third step is to get them to ask 3 to 5 people who know them well, like you as a parent or mentor, friends, teachers, etc., to describe them in 3 words. This can be done through an anonymous Google form. Make sure they ask for both positive and negative traits. Once kids have the 3 lists, have them read through what others said and reflect on how it makes them feel. Here are some prompting questions. What is the gap between how you see yourself, what you would like to be seen as, and what others see you as? Did anything surprise you? Do you change your mind about some things? Are you happy with where you are, what others see you as? Not every response will be positive, and that's okay. The goal is to recognize what characteristics kids should pride themselves on and what characteristics they are working on getting better at. And also what characteristics are part of who they are and they don't care to work on, and that's okay too. 3 words I describe myself as is assertive, confident, relentless. What I want to be described as is kind, fun, and sharp. How others see me when I ask them was they see me as ambitious, authentic, and unapologetic. And unapologetic in a bad way, as in I don't care enough about other people and what they think. Whenever I feel self-doubt, I look at my positive traits that I wrote for myself and what others wrote for me. I also look at what traits I'm working towards to be more caring and kind when I get negative feedback in those areas. I remind myself that I'm getting better every day, and when I receive some feedback from the world that I'm relentless or I'm unapologetic, I decide that that's okay, and if I didn't have those traits, I wouldn't be ambitious or confident, which are traits that I like about myself. Every positive can become a negative, and negative can become a positive. Like when people answer, I work too hard, or I'm a perfectionist, as their weakness in interviews. The most important thing is to focus on what we like about ourselves, and that starts with knowing what traits we like, don't like, and what we're working towards. Kids can create affirmations based on their positive and aspirational traits as part of their daily morning routine or practice, which can really compound over time and change their lives. Most CEOs and top performers all do daily affirmations. It's a great habit to get started on while young. Mine sounds something like, I am capable of doing hard things. I am a great leader, wife, daughter, sister, and friend. I am kind to other people and bring fun to the room. Finally, let's talk about exercise 3 in building confidence. Build confidence through challenges. As parents, teachers, and mentors that kids look up to, we need to be challenging kids to do things that test their limits, with the goal of building confidence. It's like a snowball. Once kids can prove to themselves that they can do one hard thing, they will aim to do bigger, harder things. And over time, confidence builds and kids prove to themselves why they should be more confident. The earlier we put hard things into the lives of kids, the better. So what are some hard things that are age appropriate? For kids, 9 to 12-year-olds, at Apollo, they're challenged to do a TEDx talk in front of an audience of strangers. They're challenged to share their ideas online by creating a Substack with 100 readers. They're challenged to build an AI chatbot and learn about tech. And they're challenged to build a portfolio of these projects before they even enter high school. And these prove that they can think, build, create, and distribute their ideas. For teens, 13 to 17-year-olds, at beta camp, they're challenged to build real-world businesses. Rhett is a 17-year-old building a bike park and raising $300,000. But he didn't start with that big hard thing. He first built a mini one in his backyard, learned CAD design, went to all the biker groups to talk to people, built a business plan, and learned how to pitch his idea. Shreen and Prisha started working together as sisters when they were 14 and 16. They built a program to help teens learn about college programs at beta camp. After, they started writing children's books. They wrote a 26-book series introducing kids to world topics like architecture, geography, ocular science, and aerodynamics. In order to do all of that, they had to go talk to real users, edit and publish their books on Amazon, and build so many skills. None of this happens overnight, but we need to teach kids how to set ambitious, scary goals and then take small steps to achieve them, building confidence over time. Do small, hard things, build confidence. Do bigger, hard things, repeat. That's why the biggest success in Prequel's programs is that kids tell us they feel confident they can do anything because we guide them in doing something they didn't think was possible for them before. A quick summary of how you can help your kids gain confidence at home. Number 1, help them identify limiting beliefs and teach them how to turn that into positive affirmations. Number 2, help them reflect on who they are, who they want to become, and what others see them as. Turn these reflections into affirmations, accepted weaknesses, and things they will work towards. Number 3, teach them that building confidence means taking action even out of fear. They might think that they need to get confident enough to do something hard, but it's often the other way around. You need to do hard things first in order to get confident. I hope you enjoyed that. Check out our newsletter for more ideas on how to help kids build skills that aren't taught in school and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.